Hi everybody, I'm back. Uh, this vlog is not going to be based on HCG. It's actually answering about my medical stuff. So if you're not interested in hearing about that, please just click exit and move on to the next. And for those of you that are staying, here's answers as to why this girl's always wearing glasses or band-aids or mentioning medical issues. I've had hypothyroidism for many years, and that has caused problems for me, even once they found it and put me on the medication, and that took like forever to find the right dose and everything. And with HCG, when I did my first rounds and everything and lost the weight that I needed to do, I did really great. I was a slow loser, but I did lose the weight and I did really great. And I also stabilized, so that was wonderful. But what threw me off was I ended up getting the wrong the pharmacy ended up refilling one of my prescriptions, one of my thyroid prescriptions, with the wrong dose. And so I was taking that for quite some time and didn't know, and it threw me off. And so I had to go back and clean things up. And anyway, so that's the deal with the thyroid. And at the same time, back in 2009, 2010, I had problems with skin cancer. And I had had skin cancer before on my shin. I had Mohs surgery, but that was like back in 2006 or 2007. And it was it was freaky, but it was my shin, so it wasn't as much of a big deal. But in 2009, they found cancer, infiltrative cancer, on my nose, and I had the surgery at the end of 2009, beginning of 2010, and I was trying to lose the bulk of my weight on my first rounds with HCG before I went into surgery. And that's why when I was vlogging, I was covered in band-aids and living in my Hello Kitty pajamas. Anyways, when I went in for the surgery, the Mohs surgery, it ended up being a lot more of a big deal than anybody had thought originally. And they had removed close to 50% of my nose. And they did skin grafts. The skin grafts they did from here. One lived and one died. This one lived here, and it's like white and smooth, and it's very hard to get, like when I want to wear makeup. I don't wear makeup, I haven't been wearing makeup for a very long time. But when I do want to wear makeup, it's very hard. It's like the products, everything slides off of this because it's like very smooth. And this one right here completely died. The graft completely died, and it left me with a hole like the size of a pencil eraser. So that was pretty scary, and that was part of my bandage vlog series. And I started going to hyperbaric therapy 5 days a week for several months, and it was a miracle that a good portion of skin grew back in this area. So I no longer had a hole, and it looked pretty good. It wasn't wonderful, but it looked pretty good, and I learned to live with it. But it was very thin and eventually would collapse, in the near future would end up collapsing because it was very, very thin. And the nerves were all damaged in here and everything. It's kind of changed the shape of my face. But you know what? I learned to live with it. And I was doing okay. But a lot of other skin cancers were popping up. And so with the doctor's advice, I started to do Affudex. And Fudex is, for those of you that don't know, is a topical chemotherapy that you can apply at home in a cream form. And you can apply this anywhere, you know, doctor's advice, anywhere from every day for 2 weeks, and sometimes every day for a month. On the you continually put the cream on the areas twice a day, or as your doctor recommends, on the areas of concern. And it turned out, after applying, the areas of concern ended up being my entire face, neck, chest, and a good portion of my arms. So I did 3 full rounds of Fudex, and what that does is it melts the skin off of your body, basically. And it also can give you flu-like symptoms. It's a real brutal treatment, but still a blessing. And there are some natural ways to go. I know that there's a lot of things about hemp oils and all kinds of black salves and all that stuff, but I really didn't have the time to experiment. I was in trouble because I had already lost 50% of my nose. So, as I have been raised very healthy, and doing things more healthy-minded, alternative medicines and whatnot, self-healing, I just couldn't do that with this. So I went ahead and did my rounds and suffered through them. And the doctor said, you know, you did yourself a really great service. And you have killed probably several layers of precancers, and you should be good to go for, you know, for a few years. So, you know, be proud of yourself. And I was really happy. I felt like, wow, you know, maybe I won't have to get, you know, 8 biopsies in a pop when I go to the, you know, for my 3-month checkups. And I did do good for a little while until a couple of months ago. I went back for one of my checkups, and I ended up again with infiltrative cancer on my nose again, and it was on this side where the graft had died, and it was right next to the area that had cancer before. So they had to do surgery again, Mohs surgery again, and this time they decided to do a nasal labia flap because of the area and because of, you know, what happened previously. And what that involved was cutting the cartilage out from the back of my ear and placing that in my nose, you know, harvesting it from my ear, putting it in my nose, and then slicing down my cheek and creating a skin flap to my nose. And they left me like that for a month, and it was ugly and painful and depressing. But then I went back in, and they went ahead and they detached it and took out some of the stitches and whatnot. And, you know, as days go by, the swelling is going down and everything. And right now, this is what I'm left with. And I still I have the scar down here, and there's still some stitches that are like poking out like whiskers. I'm sure you can't see them. And here is still swollen, and it's, I don't know, I got like a penis nose thing going on here. So they just told me to be patient, and in whatever, however many months or in a year or 2 years from now, that I'll be happy with the results, and I hope that's true. And in addition to that, 2 weeks ago, because they were still freezing a lot of areas, a lot of precancers on me, they went ahead and did a blue light and Levulon session on me, which is a replacement for Fudex. Like, yay for the new technology. So I did that, and now I'm going to be doing another round of that on Monday, and you know, that's just a sped up version of the Fudex. So that's what I'm doing. That's my medical issues. And I hope that, like, if there's anybody else out there that's going through that, I hope that this has helped you, let you know that you're not alone.